this contest is Mako Kalin. Introducing first, representing the status symbols from Scarsdale, New York. He's weighing in at 251 pounds. The fighter for hire. He's back to business. Axel Fury.
That's all right, folks. Here's the good news. All right, one bad little rogue referee is not going to ruin this great evening as the fighter for hire, Axel Fury, goes back to business and back to basics. Oh, look at that new look for the fighter for hire.
He definitely looks all business, ready to go. I have to tell you, though, if you were upset about the last referee, I don't know if you really want to put Mako Kalin on that list of refs that you should probably have a lot of faith in. At least the Mansfield faithful don't seem to.
No, he's not going to win any most popular man of Mansfield awards. That's fair. We can agree on that.
I don't think he'll even come close.
I don't know if he'll get a single vote.
Probably not.
And if he does, it's him. But Axel Fury back with a new look. I've talked to Axel today in the back when I was consulting with the greatest faction in history.
Shocker.
And he is all about getting back to basics. He knows he's been on a bit of a losing streak lately, and it's time to get back to basics and get a dub, and he knows it.
His opponent from the home of rock and roll, he's weighing in at 245 pounds, Hendrix.
Well, if he wants to get back on the winning side, it's going to take a lot because he goes up against the Hurricane, Kenny Hendrix, who's on a little bit of a losing streak, I will admit. Both these gentlemen probably looking for a much-needed win here in the ASWA. I know Kenny is very much looking forward to likely getting back into that world title picture, the heavyweight title picture, or the universal title picture, but standing in his way is the new and improved fighter for hire, Axel Fury.
Both these men, frankly, need a win for momentum's sake. They're both in the doldrums a little bit as far as win-loss goes, and both on the opposite spectrum of their careers. The old lion versus the young lion. We know that Axel Fury is the blue-chip prospect of the status symbols. And Kenny Hendrix, opinions aside, has forgotten more about this business than most people will ever know.
One of the fastest rising stars in the ASWA is Axel Fury. And you know, I like this new look. I like the new attitude. We'll see if it pans out for Axel Fury. Well, I respect the getting back to business. I like that.
The old saying is, you look good, you feel good, and he certainly looks good, so let's see what happens. And, of course, Kenny Hendrix got to bring the chain because, well, it's the only partner he can keep. Jimmy Lee has abandoned him.
That's two. That's 2 times.
Do you see the living nightmare? I don't.
I think you're just sad that he abandoned you. Do you miss him? I think you do.
Not very likely.
I think you miss him.
No.
Nonetheless, you're not going to want to miss this match. Kenny Hendrix, Axel Fury. Again, both gentlemen looking to get that much-needed win. And right off the bat.
Here comes Emperor Hardy, the Glory Hound.
Like baseball, 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of here.
Oh, and just like that, as we've seen become the usual, Barry Hardy throwing out the status symbols, and Kenny Hendrix and Axel Fury didn't even care. They just started beating the crap out of each other while all of that was going on.
And frankly, my opinion aside on Barry Hardy for a moment, we'll get to that. That tells you how serious these two are taking this match. Neither gentleman cared about what the status symbols or Barry Hardy had to say, and they both left it in that ring. And that says a lot about the mindset of these two and how big this match is.
Especially for Axel Fury. Back to business, but he's back to kicking out at 1.
But it's great to see the fact that Barry Hardy still holds his lifelong grudge against the status symbols. That man should really read a children's book and learn something about the word forgive.
You should know about a children's book, because it sounds like I'm sitting next to the biggest child.
The biggest child? First of all,
yes.
I was a preemie, so that's impossible. Secondly, don't worry about the size of me. Let's focus on the match. Kenny Hendrix has got a ton of size.
Yes, he does.
But Axel Fury has got a ton of smarts.
Brains over bronze. But Kenny Hendrix has plenty of smarts in his own right.
Just not with tag team partners.
He's had a couple that didn't pan out, all right? It's fine.
Jimmy Lee, and then it turns out his background checks are as good as the ASWA for their officials, because GQ Status was his partner for half a match.
Oh, I remember, and I'm sure Kenny remembers too, and is trying to easily forget it as much as the rest of us.
And Axel Fury getting his head driven in.
He's not going to remember that.
The power game of the Hurricane is well known.
Kenny Hendrix raining down the haymakers. And you know, that back to business attitude for Axel Fury worked out well in the beginning, but it's starting to waver a little bit, as does the consciousness. After shots like that from the big bad Kenny Hendrix.
This is a huge match for Axel Fury. You have to wonder, if he loses this match, what his standing in the status symbols would be.
Yeah, both young men of the status symbols in high-profile matches. Obviously, Asylum in the most high-profile, taking on for the heavyweight championship. But you remember at one time, Asylum and Axel Fury faced off against each other for who would possibly leave the status symbols. You got to wonder, if Axel Fury loses yet again, if that conversation maybe doesn't spring up again.
I think we can agree there's a lot of respect between Asylum and Axel Fury, but I also think you're absolutely right about the fact there's a lot of healthy competition between the two. And speaking of competition, the Hurricane just threw Axel Fury around like he's a Playmate doll at a garage sale.
Axel Fury on Dream Street, but still had enough wherewithal to kick out. Just a 2 count, not enough. And at some point, Axel was going to have to find a way to get one over on Kenny and get an opening, at least a breather for a second.
I'm a big believer in the fighter for hire, but he's not going to outpower Kenny Hendrix.
But he might outsmart him.
Drove that shoulder into the turnbuckle, and it's so easy to strain a muscle in that shoulder.
Oh, and Axel Fury, that new attitude is starting to show its true face.
That's right.
I believe that was his tie.
That's right. Random Pain will be proud. Choke him down. Choke him out. I mean, frankly, if anyone deserves it, it's Kenny Hendrix.
You always have so much against Kenny Hendrix. I don't understand it.
Look, you can judge a man's content and character by who he associates himself with. And Kenny Hendrix associates himself with nobody.
Well, I know who Axel Fury associates himself. I can't even get it out. And it says a lot about his character as well. But what this says right now is that Axel Fury looking to end things.
A little snake-like DDT.
Can he make the cover, though? Took just a little too much time to make that cover. But this might be the opening that Axel Fury needed. He may not have got the pin, but he may have gotten the breathers that he needs to get one over on Kenny Hendrix. And he saw the motion. This might be it. Oh, but Kenny firing back. Delivers a vicious clothesline. Adds another for good measure. Maybe setting up for one more. Hits the trifecta. And now, Hurricane's going up top.
This is where we're heading in the deep water.
The Hurricane's gonna fly. Kenny Hendrix with a crossbody. Oh, but look at this.
How smart is Axel Fury?
Well, I'll give him that. It was a smart move. Not only to get the rollover, but he did get the feet up onto the rope.
Has awarded the match to Axel Fury.
You know, I saw nothing to do with the feet on the ropes. I don't know why you're trying to obtain a victory. Your jealousy is getting in the way of your journalism again.
Did something hit your eye too?
No, I have glasses on, so right here I'm 20/20.
All right, I believe it. Well, Axel Fury does get the victory. Like I said, very smart to get the rollover. Questionable about the finish, but he is the victor, and you got to wonder, at what point does Kenny Hendrix get really fed up with losing to the status symbols, and just how much can one man take? But he seems to be at least a little bit chipper about it.
Well, he's getting used to it. I mean, he constantly loses to the status symbols. Look, no disrespect to Kenny Hendrix, but he just got outsmarted there, and that's the way it goes. Maybe he should reach